Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into a book that wasn't just a bestseller, it was, well, a massive cultural moment. Rhonda Byrne's The Secret. And when I say massive, the numbers are pretty staggering. We're talking over 30 million copies sold worldwide,
Wow.
translated into 50 languages, and get this, by 2009, the film and book together had grossed something like $300 million.
That's incredible reach, truly.
It really is. But what exactly is this secret that hooked so many people?
Well, at its core, it's based on this idea called the law of attraction, which is often labeled as pseudoscientific. It claims, basically, that our thoughts alone can directly shape, the actual circumstances of our lives.
A very powerful and for many a very appealing idea.
Definitely. So our mission today is to unpack these core ideas, look at why it became such a huge success, and really dig into the reactions it stirred up, because people had strong feelings about this book, both for and against. We heard from huge fans like Oprah, but also some really sharp critics.
Absolutely. A lot to cover. Okay, let's get into it. So the absolute heart of The Secret is this concept, the law of attraction. Can you just remind us, what's the fundamental idea there, this like attracts like principle?
Sure. The foundational belief is exactly that. Like attracts like. So whatever you're thinking about, focusing on, feeling, you draw more of that into your life. The Secret explains it by saying everything, including us, is just energy, vibrating atoms.
Right, the energy thing.
Yeah. And our thoughts aren't just thoughts. They're actual magnetic energy signals, sending out specific frequencies. The book uses this analogy that we're like human transition towers.
Okay.
We broadcast these frequencies out into the universe. And the universe then magnetically sends back things, people, circumstances on that same frequency.
So you send out lack, you get back lack, you send out abundance.
That's the premise. And importantly, it's presented as a natural law like gravity. It's impartial, predictable, and it works whether you know about it, believe in it, or not. It's just happening.
Wow, okay. That's a big mechanism. So if our thoughts are these signals, how does it actually play out day to day? Especially with things we don't want. That seems counterintuitive.
Well, what's fascinating here, or perhaps tricky, is how it's supposed to work in practice. The Secret stresses that we attract what we think of the most. But here's the key part. The law doesn't supposedly distinguish between good thoughts and bad thoughts, or whether you want something versus don't want it.
Yeah.
It just responds to the dominant focus. So the classic example, if you're constantly thinking, I don't want to be in debt, the universe supposedly hears the debt part loudest.
Because that's where the energy and focus is.
Exactly. You're focusing on debt, so you attract more of debt or situations related to it. It's delivering on the frequency of debt.
Okay, that makes a certain kind of sense within its own logic.
And this applies to conscious thoughts and subconscious ones, which is where it gets even more complex.
Right, because we're not always aware of those deep down beliefs.
Precisely. You might consciously say, I want more money. But if deep down you feel unworthy or you doubt you can actually get rich, The Secret claims the universe picks up on that stronger subconscious frequency, the doubt, the unworthiness, and delivers based on that.
Gosh, that sounds almost overwhelming.
Yeah.
I mean, if our subconscious can sabotage us, how are we supposed to manage that? You mentioned something like 60,000 thoughts a day. Trying to police every single one seems, well, impossible.
It does, doesn't it? And that's exactly why The Secret offers what it calls shortcuts. The main one is using your feelings.
Feelings, okay. How does that work?
Well, since tracking 60,000 thoughts isn't practical, your feelings become this sort of real-time feedback system, a tool for awareness. The idea is simple. You can't feel genuinely good and genuinely bad at the exact same time.
True.
So if you feel good, happy, grateful, joyful, that's your signal that your dominant thoughts are positive. You're on a good frequency, attracting more good stuff.
And if you feel bad, anxious, angry, sad.
That's your alert. Your internal alarm saying, hey, you're focusing on negative stuff right now.
Wow.
It's a chance to catch yourself, identify the underlying bad thoughts, and consciously shift back to something positive.
So emotions are like a compass pointing towards the frequency you're currently broadcasting.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. A cosmic GPS, as you said earlier. And they do double duty.
How so?
They're not just for awareness, they're also for acceleration. Feelings supercharge your transmissions. Strong feelings, positive or negative, send out much stronger frequencies.
That explains the idea that what we resist persists.
Exactly. Because resisting something often means giving it intense focus and strong negative feeling. You're essentially pouring energy into the very thing you don't want, thereby attracting more of it.
Okay, I see the logic there.
But there's reassurance, too. The book says not every fleeting negative thought is going to manifest instantly. What really counts are the sustained thoughts, the ones supercharged with feelings. And, importantly, it claims positive thoughts are inherently much more powerful than negative thoughts.
So there's a built-in bias towards the positive in a way.
That's the implication. Which leads to the ultimate shortcut, quote, hence, the best shortcut is to feel good, happy, and positive every day because that will bring more good things and happiness to you.
Just feel good. Sounds simple, but maybe not easy.
Definitely not always easy.
So if we understand the law and we use feelings as our guide, how do we actually use this? What's the step-by-step from the secret for getting what we want?
Right, the practical application. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the secret lays out what it calls the creative process. It's presented as the way to consciously use the law. And it boils down to 3 steps. Ask, believe, receive.
Ask, believe, receive.
Okay, step 1, ask. This is about clarity, really defining what you want. The book is quite firm. You get to choose what you want, but you must get clear about what you want. This is your work.
So no vague wishes. You need specifics. Like placing a detailed order.
Precisely. You're telling the universe exactly what to deliver.
Then believe. This sounds like the hardest part for most people. Believing it's yours before you see it.
It often is the biggest hurdle, yes. Believe involves acting, thinking, and crucially, feeling as if you've already received your desire. It's about emitting the frequency of already having it, cultivating that unwavering faith, that certainty.
Even when your bank account or your circumstances are screaming the opposite.
Especially then, according to the book. That's the real work of the believe step, which flows into the 3rd step, receive.
And receive is?
Receive is about feeling good now, feeling the way you will feel once your desire manifests. As the book says, feeling good now puts you on the frequency of what you want. It's about aligning your current emotional state with the having of your desire.
So the feeling comes before the manifestation, not after.
That's the core idea. And to help with all this, especially the believe and receive parts, the secret emphasizes other tools to speed up the shift.
Like what?
2 big ones are gratitude and visualization.
Ah, yes. Gratitude pops up a lot in self-help.
It's central here.
Yeah.
Here's a quote. If you only do one thing with knowledge of the secret, use gratitude until it becomes your way of life. The idea is that gratitude shifts your frequency immediately to abundance and positivity.
And visualization, seeing it in your mind's eye.
Yes, vividly imagining yourself already having achieved or received your desire, engaging all your senses, feeling the emotions associated with it. This helps solidify the believe and receive stages.
It's quite a framework. Ask, believe, receive, backed by feelings, gratitude, visualization. But where did Rhonda Byrne even get this idea? How did it become this global thing?
Well, her personal story is quite key. It seems the catalyst was a period of personal trauma back in 2004. Her daughter gave her a copy of a much older book, Wallace Wattles' The Science of Getting Rich, from 1910.
Right. That book is often cited as a major influence, part of that whole New Thought movement tradition.
Exactly. And Byrne felt she discovered a huge secret. So she rolled it out, interestingly, first as a film online in March 2006. Kind of like a documentary feel, wasn't it? With various teachers explaining the concepts.
Yeah, interviews and dramatic interpretations. Then the book followed later that year, November 2006. But the real explosion, you could argue, came with Oprah Winfrey.
Ah, the Oprah effect. You can't discount that.
No way. Oprah went on Larry King Live and said the message of The Secret was basically what she'd been trying to share on her own show for 21 years. That's huge.
Massive endorsement.
Byrne appeared on Oprah's show twice, I think, and Time magazine even put her in their Time 100 list of influential people.
So it just catapulted into the mainstream consciousness.
Completely. And Byrne built on that success, of course, with sequels like The Power, The Magic, The Hero, keeping the brand going. So it felt incredibly fresh and powerful to millions. But you mentioned earlier, this idea wasn't entirely new, was it?
Here's where it gets really interesting, especially considering the criticisms later. No, the core concept wasn't brand new. Byrne effectively repackaged and reintroduced ideas popularized much earlier by figures like Madame Blavatsky.
The founder of theosophy, late 1800s.
That's her. And later, people like Norman Vincent Peale with his power of positive thinking. It draws heavily from that whole American New Thought tradition, this belief in mind over matter, mental healing, prosperity consciousness.
So it has historical roots.
Definitely. And Byrne strengthened the appeal by weaving in alleged examples from historical figures, suggesting they used the secret And even a biblical quote,
Which one was that?
Matthew 21:22. Whatever you ask for in prayer with faith, you will receive.
Ah, linking it to faith and prayer. That would resonate with many.
Absolutely. It gave it layers of perceived authority, historical, spiritual, making it feel more profound and less like just a modern self-help fad to its audience.
Okay, so it resonated deeply, drawing on older traditions. But inevitably, with that level of success comes scrutiny. And The Secret got a lot of pushback. The main point of attack right from the start was this law of attraction itself. Critics jumped on the claim that it's based on energy and science.
They really did. This leads us straight into the critical perspectives, which are quite varied. On the scientific front, the claims made in the book and film were pretty roundly rejected by the scientific community.
Who is saying that?
Well, you had cognitive scientists like Christopher Shabris and Daniel Simons writing in the New York Times, basically dismissing it. Harvard physicist Lisa Randall also weighed in, stating clearly it has no scientific foundation.
Particularly the attempts to link it to quantum physics.
Yes, that drew particular criticism. Physicists were quick to say that's a misapplication or even a distortion of quantum principles. The description often used was something like a time-worn trick of mixing banal truisms with magical thinking.
Ouch. Banal truisms with magical thinking.
Yeah. And echoing my earlier point, historian of religion John G. Stackhouse Jr. noted, it isn't new and it isn't a secret, placing it squarely in that New Thought lineage.
So critique number 1, scientifically unfounded. Critique number 2, nothing new. What else?
Then there were critiques about its actual usefulness and even potential harms. Valerie Frankel, writing for Good Housekeeping, tried it out. She said, practicing gratitude and visualization felt good, personally valuable.
Okay, some practical benefit there.
But she dismissed the core premise as far too simplistic maxims and hocus pocus. Her conclusion was basically, it offers nothing you don't already know beyond basic positive thinking techniques.
A more nuanced critique there.
Then you get sharper criticisms. Barbara Ehrenreich, in her book Bright-Sided, argued that this kind of extreme positive thinking promoted by The Secret and similar books can actually lead to political complacency.
How so?
By suggesting individuals can think their way out of systemic problems, it discourages collective action or engagement with, real-world economic and social issues.
Yeah.
It puts all the onus and blame on the individual's mindset.
That's a serious charge. Blaming the victim, in a sense.
That's certainly a common interpretation of the potential negative side effect. If you're poor, sick, or oppressed, The Secret's logic could imply it's somehow your fault for not thinking positively enough.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
And Mark Manson, author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Feck. Well, he didn't mince words.
I can imagine.
He called the book full of misplaced cliches, silly quotes, and superstitious drivel. He saw it as a playbook for entitlement and self-absorption that could ultimately make people worse off in the long run by fostering unrealistic expectations and avoiding genuine problems.
Wow. So the critiques range from it's harmless but nothing new to it's scientifically baseless and potentially quite harmful.
Exactly. It covers a wide spectrum. You have millions saying it changed their lives for the better, focusing them on positivity and goals. And then you have very credible critics raising serious questions about its scientific claims, its originality, and its social and psychological implications. This raises an important question about how we evaluate these things.
It really does. So this deep dive has definitely laid out both sides. The incredible appeal and promise that captivated millions, and the pretty substantial criticisms and challenges. It's clearly a book that divides opinion. So as you're listening, it's worth reflecting, what parts of this law of attraction idea, as The Secret presents it, actually resonate with you, if any? Maybe you're skeptical about the cosmic ordering aspect or the science claims.
Which is understandable.
Right. But are there still practical takeaways? Things like deliberately focusing on gratitude or visualizing your goals more clearly. Could those elements be useful, even stripped of the hocus pocus, as Frankel put it? Because there does seem to be something powerful about focusing your mind, cultivating positivity. Even some critics might concede that basic point without endorsing the whole Secret package.
I think that's a fair point. What The Secret's success and the reaction to it really highlight, perhaps, is this deep, ongoing human desire for a sense of control, for meaning, for a way to shape our destiny. We live in a complex, often unpredictable world, and ideas that promise a secret path to happiness and success will always have a certain appeal.
The allure of a simple solution.
Perhaps. And the fact that it generated such passionate belief and such passionate criticism just underscores our continuous human quest. We're always searching for ways to grow, to understand ourselves, and figure out our place in the universe.
That's a great way to frame it. It taps into something fundamental about the human condition. Well, thank you for joining us on this exploration of the secret. Hopefully, digging into even controversial topics like this helps broaden our perspectives. And here's a final thought to maybe mull over. And it's a big if, but if our thoughts really do have some kind of energetic quality that influences reality, what responsibility might that imply? Not just for our own lives, but maybe for the collective vibe or frequency we're all contributing to the world.
That's a fascinating and potentially heavy question to consider.
Definitely something to think about. If you're curious to explore further, you could check out the New Thought movement itself or dive into some of the critical responses we mentioned, like Ehrenreich's Bright-Sided or Manson's The Subtle Art. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep deep diving with us.